But ye are forgers of lies. Ye are all physicians of no value. Call halal Yahweh by Shem Abishai by Hashem Rakah Kwadash. Double honors unto the apostles, double honors unto the elder bishops. Salutations to all my fellow laborers doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so, now more so than ever. To the scattered elect that are scattered around the four corners of the earth, that be like unto the speckled bird, the Israelite foreigners among the heathens, that look like the heathens, and to the Akwaf that are listening and learning to you, I say Shalom. This is your brother Malcolm from the branch of the Great Millstone here in Chicago, coming at you another lesson in truth. And now, came across a couple videos on TikTok and Instagram. This one is a short clip of this one, maybe about a 30-second one on TikTok, and I found the whole video, so I'm just gonna play it. But basically, this guy is questioning things about NASA, and you question the narrative that's been established, which most narratives that has been established that have been written into history books are lies. People that work in the television networks, will literally be fired if they bring up or ask questions about Building 7 with the event that was attached to. But that's what we're dealing with here. And the funny thing is, when I simply put in NASA fraud, and this video was the third video, but the first video to pop up was a video debunking people's worries, showing that there are no wires and, et cetera, et cetera. So, but we'll let this video play and speak for itself. So I'm going into uncharted territory because this is an actual video, but this isn't. But this portion of the video I did not see. So without any further ado.
Good afternoon, Commissioners.
You just state your name for me and your...
My name is Justin Harvey. I live at 103 South Osceola, Orlando, 32801. Good afternoon, Commissioners. Today I'd like to bring to your attention a potential fraud on an enormous scale happening in your county. There's now clear evidence of NASA using numerous methods to grossly mislead the public about astronauts being on the International Space Station.
Now, this is the actual video that they use, that they're so-called debunking to show that it's actually authentic. The one that's playing in the background, by the way. I thought I'd add that. So they're trying to counter what he's saying by showing that this video is authentic.
During interior ISS scenes from NASA's own live feed, the use of wires, harnesses, green screens, and virtual reality have been detected to achieve the appearance of a weightless environment. Examples of this include astronauts fading in and out of the screen, green screen glitches, grabbing objects that aren't really there, pulling on invisible wires, getting tangled in their harnesses, and even astronauts appearing out of thin air. This begs the obvious question. If they're really up there, why are they using Hollywood techniques to fake the footage? Now, unfortunately, I can't show you these clips in here today, but I will be sending them to you.
Now let's bring up, the elephant in the room, the moon landing. All right, as of recently, Buzz and a couple other astronauts have been saying that, let's put it this way: the official story that's written in the that has been accepted, the official narrative that has been accepted, has been put into the history books, because you got to remember, news is history. Once something makes the news, it's going into the history books. All right, but let's just say the official narrative is beyond questionable. Facts don't line up, as with many other things concerning these Edomites.
Moving on, outside the International Space Station.
Did you see the air bubbles? There's no air in space. So, which indicates that they're underwater, shooting videos underwater. But
during spacewalks, air bubbles have been recorded on numerous occasions. How is it possible for air bubbles to be present in the vacuum of space? I once questioned astronaut Scott Kelly about this phenomenon. His body language and answers only created more questions. In 2013, astronaut Luca Parmitano nearly drowned during a spacewalk when his helmet filled with water.
Obadiah 1:6. How are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? The scriptures, the men of the Lord. That's how it happens. All right. The mysteries and the secrets were given unto the men of the Lord, who they don't want to acknowledge are the men of the Lord. And the men of the Lord would be commoners. They wouldn't be highly educated. You got to remember the disciples baffled. The Lord baffled highly educated men. The only one that was actually really thoroughly educated was Paul. All right. The rest of the disciples who would confound these so-called well-educated people. Because you got to remember, man, a degree is exactly that. It is a degree of knowledge. We have 360 degrees of knowledge and understanding that comes out of this Bible. They have a degree of knowledge, all right, which means that usually the degree that they're displaying of a story is their certain degrees of the truth and certain degrees of lies. So they're not giving you the whole truth. They're giving you a degree of truth, and then the rest of it is lies to sway you from the truth.
This happened again just last year. Air bubbles, helmets filling with water, and drowning. Are they in space or are they underwater? Now, what's really interesting is that they trained for spacewalks in an underwater pool with a complete ISS replica. Now, surely they aren't filming these spacewalks in an underwater pool and then editing them to appear if they're in space.
No.
Because that sure would be something, wouldn't it?
They wouldn't do
I'm calling on
that.
the Brevard County Commissioners to open a full investigation into NASA's fraudulent practices and use of taxpayer dollars. It costs NASA $3 billion per year to operate.
Now, when you look at the deterioration of the cities, the deterioration of the schools, the destruction of the food, the water, the air, and what $3 billion could do if you start putting that into Chicago, putting it into New York, putting it into LA, putting it into some of these rural towns and rural areas, Philly, Jersey, Portland, wherever it's needed. So year after year after year, you see that big old bubble in his face, under his chin, but year after year after year, this fraud being, forced among the people. Let me go to another scripture. This is, but you know what? That's part of prophecy, because Babylon cannot and will not be healed. This is Luke 8:17. And it reads, "For nothing is secret that should not be made manifest, neither anything hid that should not be made known and come abroad." The truth is just coming out at recently, for years I've been talking about the Hamitic theory, and St. Bidgie went in on it the other day. And a lot of people don't, even brothers in the truth. The Hamitic theory is basically, okay, for example, the definition when they say, not the Negroes, all right, because what they tried to do was exclude the Negroes from humanity, all right, because they use this so-called curse of Ham to enslave, the sons of Yasharallah, all right. They use the curse of Ham, but then, in the early 1600s when this all came about, and something they call the curse of Ham, and Ham wasn't cursed. Canaan was. Canaan lost his land to the Israelites. All right, so let's get that straight. And but then when they went, in the 1800s, and they actually went into Egypt and saw the evidence of all these, they couldn't deny the presence of these dark races and these dark people, and so they said that the Hamitic people, the sons of Ham, even though they were dark, they were descendants of white people. That's what the Hamitic theory is really about in a nutshell, all right? And that all the Negroes in Negro land, everything that was south of the Sub-Sahara, there were no people, which means, all right, that Noah would have had to have had a fourth son, because all people on earth came out of Ham, Shem, and Japheth, all right? So they would say Ham, the creator of the dark races, but not the Negroes. That's what that definition really was. But the Lord turned it around on them. All right? Because now it's being used to prove that the Negroes are not Hamites. All right? But they're of the Negro races. Well, then who did they come from? We know that they didn't come from Japheth, and we know that they didn't come from Ham. So the only one left is Shem. There was no fourth son of Noah. So everything that they do backfires on them. All right? All the little stuff that they do in the dark and all their wickedness is being exposed. Let me go to to TikTok. Find this young lady that I started following. this middle-aged woman who's quite attractive, might I add. But it's not her, it's not her her attraction that, that's just a bonus. What man doesn't like an attractive woman? That's just a bonus. But that's not what made me start following her. What made me start following her was her content. All right, so let me go and find her videos. All right. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, well, here's a couple.
You guys, I want to share.
Oh no, that's the one the long one. I'm gonna play that one last. Let's play these short ones first. That's these little catchphrases she has.
Imagine living through the last 3 years and not being the slightest bit suspicious.
Again.
Imagine living through the last 3 years and not being the slightest bit suspicious.
I mean, you are very
It's
stupid.
just a little bit too much for our bodies to handle. It's just a little bit of fluoride in the toothpaste. It's just a little bit of fluoride in the water. It's just a little bit of chlorine in the water. It's just a little bit of microplastics in the water. It's just a little bit of aluminum in your deodorant. It's just a little bit of aluminum and mercury in the injections. It's just a little bit of aluminum and barium being sprayed in the air. Oh, it's just a little bit of soy in your food. It's just
her name is Tanya the Herbalist.
And
And you see all these poisons that she's mentioned and how, just a little bit here and there and why people are so sick. Not to mention that they're constantly spraying that shit in the skies, across the skies. Every day, every other day, you see that those man-made streams that they spray across the skies, and then they spread out, and they usually spray them right before they rain. Yet no politicians ever even bring these up or talk about this. It's like talking about Building 7. You can't talk about Building 7. All right, so we'll go ahead and bring on screen. Let me bring up and let her play a little
too
bit.
much for our bodies to handle.
Oh, hold on.
It's just a little bit of fluoride in the toothpaste.
Let me go back. Here we go.
At what point is just a little bit too much for our bodies to handle? It's just a little bit of fluoride in the toothpaste. It's just a little bit of fluoride in the water. It's just a little bit of chlorine in the water. It's just a little bit of microplastics in the water. It's just a little bit of aluminum in your deodorant. It's just a little bit of aluminum and mercury in the injections. It's just a little bit of aluminum and barium being sprayed in the air. Oh, it's just a little bit of soy in your food. It's just a little bit of parabens in your shampoo. It's just a little bit of paraffins in candles. It's just a little bit of BPAs and plastics in your kids' toys.
You get it. So all these things are destroying, people. They're destroying people. So let's let this one play. And it's a little lengthy. But remember, her channel is called Tanya the Herbalist. Because I don't know if I want to hold this thing, because this one's about 7 minutes long. So maybe I won't play all of it. But it's called The Secret Covenant. And I've heard this before, but she goes on to read it. And, well, let's let her do it.
You guys, I want to share with you the secret covenant that you might or might not have heard about. The secret covenant was created by none other than the Rockefellers, and maybe even someone even higher than them, let's be honest. But this is their secret covenant and their clause of things that they wanted to follow. And if you're a conspiracy theorist or a critical thinker and you're aware of what's been going on in the world, you're going to know exactly how suitable this is. This is written word for word, and I want to read it to you. Okay, so bear with me. The secret covenant. An illusion, it will be so large, so vast, it will escape their perception. Those who will see it will be thought of as insane. We'll create separate fronts to prevent them from seeing the connection between us. We will behave as if we are not connected to keep the illusion alive. Our goal will be accomplished one drop at a time so as to never bring suspicion upon ourselves. This will also prevent them from seeing the changes as they occur. We will always stand above the relative field of their experience, for we know the secrets of the absolute. We will work together always, and we will remain bound by blood and secrecy. Death will come to he who speaks. We will keep their lifespan short and their minds weak while pretending to do the opposite. We will use our knowledge of science and technology in subtle ways so that they will never see what's happening. We will use soft metals, aging accelerators, and sedatives in food and water, also in the air. They will be blanketed by poisons everywhere they turn. The soft metals will cause them to lose their mind. We will promise to find a cure from our many fronts, yet we will feed them more poison. The poisons will be absorbed through their skin and mouths, and they will destroy their minds and reproductive system. From all this, their children will be born dead, and we will conceal this information. The poisons will be hidden in everything that surrounds them, and what they drink, eat, breathe, and wear.
And that's pretty much where we are, And like I said, this is about a 7-minute video, and I'm not gonna play the whole thing. But remember, her name is Tanya the herbalist, and at Tanya the herbalist, and it's spelled Tania, Tanya. You know, not Tany. It's an I where the Y is. Okay. All right. Where the Y would normally be in the spelling of Tanya. And like I said, she's just got a lot of really good information. All right. Now, and I do believe this is a Northern Kingdom sister too. But nevertheless, let's go back to the scriptures, man. This is Jeremiah 49 and 10, man, because they're exposed, man. They you know, it's a wrap. It's all winding down. We just have to endure, you know, this last bull crap that you know, and they're just being exposed. We just gotta hang in there. All right, shooting videos underwater, then saying that they're in space, you know. But this is Jeremiah 49 and 10, and it reads, "I have made Esau bare. I have uncovered his secret places. He is not able to hide himself. His seed is spoiled, and his brethren, and his neighbors, and he is not." All right. So, you know, he's exposed. And their days are numbered. They're coming, you know, and it's coming to an end. We have to endure. All right. Just have to, you know, be careful what you say about building 7. Do not question building 7. All right. So with that, I'm going to give all praises, glory, and honor unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Wakaha Kodash, Wa Ababa Ba Kwam Yasarala Shalom.